Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and friends. Thank you for being here today. I speak not only as a Canadian member of Parliament, but as someone deeply committed to international cooperation, aviation safety, and the principles that have underpinned the rules-based global order for decades. We are here to raise a vital issue: Taiwan's exclusion from the International Civil Aviation Organization, and why that exclusion endangers not only regional stability, but the safety and security of global air travel. This year, the ICAO Assembly meets as tensions rise in the skies over the Taiwan Strait. In late June, Beijing unilaterally activated a new air route, W121, extending from the M503 corridor. On paper, China claims it's to reduce air congestion, but in reality, this new route offers no real civilian benefit. What it does do is reduce Taiwan's air defense depth and warning time, a clear military advantage for China in the event of an invasion. More importantly, it was imposed without any consultation with Taiwan's Civil Aviation Administration, even though Taiwan manages the Taipei Flight Information Region, a region critical to international air traffic that violates the very principles ICAO was founded to uphold. This is not the first time. It is the third instance in which China has unilaterally altered flight paths near Taiwan without coordination. The result is an increasingly crowded, militarized airspace and greater risk for civilian flights operating in the region. Now, why should Canada care? Well, because the risks are not abstract. A conflict in the Taiwan Strait would severely disrupt global trade, including semiconductor supply chains critical to Canada's economy. And this goes beyond economics. In 2023, a Chinese fighter dangerously intercepted a Canadian reconnaissance aircraft on a UN mission. That near miss reminds us coercive airspace behavior has real consequences for all of us. Canada has always championed an open, inclusive, and rules-based Indo-Pacific. Taiwan is a natural partner in that vision. We share democratic values, strong economic ties, and a commitment to peace. That's why Canada will continue supporting Taiwan's meaningful participation in ICAO and other global institutions. Air safety knows no borders and no regions, especially one as vital as the Taiwan Strait, should be managed in isolation or used as leverage in geopolitical contests. Let's be clear. Inclusion isn't a political gesture. It's a necessity for safety, for stability, and for the future of civil aviation. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Michael Cooper, Member of Parliament for St. Albert, Sturgeon River, sorry. After 10 years, I'm used to saying St. Albert, Edmonton. As the 42nd ICAO Assembly sets to convene in Montreal, Canada's democratic ally, Taiwan, finds herself shut out yet again. Taiwan's exclusion is not due to performance or capability deficiencies. It is about one thing and one thing only, and that is bending to Beijing's bullying, and it has to stop. Let's be clear, Taiwan is a major player when it comes to global aviation. Taiwan's skies are among the busiest and most complex in the world. It is a vital global hub, the 11th largest aviation market in the world. Tens of millions of passengers and cargo transit through Taiwan each year, 64 million passengers in 2024. Effective air traffic management requires ongoing cooperation and coordination the sharing of data in real time, and the mutual recognition of standards, all of which necessitate Taiwan's participation. Excluding one of the largest and most responsible air traffic, airspace managers in the world from ICAO is nothing short of reckless. It creates a dangerous gap that undermines global aviation safety and frankly makes a mockery of ICAO's purported stated mission of building a resilient and inclusive aviation system. And in the face of Taiwan's exclusion, I have to say it has been disappointing that the government of Canada has been silent with respect to Taiwan's participation at the 42nd Assembly. As the host country, it is imperative. Canada has a responsibility to speak out. The policy of the government of Canada up until now has been clear, namely supporting Taiwan's meaningful participation at multilateral fora, including at the ICAO Assembly. That policy, that position needs to be reaffirmed, it needs to be restated by the Minister of Global Affairs and by the Prime Minister. A loud and clear message must be sent to ICAO. Stop placating the Beijing dictatorship, put global aviation safety first, and invite Taiwan to participate at the Assembly. Taiwan belongs at ICAO.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. This press conference marks the official launch of Taiwan's Campaign 2025 to join the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO. For every ICAO assembly held triennially in Montreal, Taiwan organizes an event on the sidelines to broadcast its message to the world. This year, we are continuing that tradition and holding it here in Ottawa, right across from the Parliament, where Taiwan is fortunate to enjoy strong cross-party support. I'm deeply honored to be joined by the Honorable Judy Sgro, Chair of the Canada-Taiwan Friendship Group, and MP Michael Cooper, Shadow Minister of Democratic Reform, and an equally steadfast friend of Taiwan. We are here at the right place, at the right time, and with the right allies. With all the stars aligned, I believe our message can travel far and wide. I recall attending the same press conference in 2022 prior to the 41st ICAO Assembly, speaking about China's military exercises. That year in August, then US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. After her departure, China staged live-fire military drills around Taiwan from August 4th to 7th, launching 11 ballistic missiles with 4 of them flying over Taiwan, declaring 7 temporary danger zones in the Taipei FIR, and disrupting over a dozen international air routes. Over the course of merely 4 days, international flights transiting Taipei FIR plummeted by 90%, from an average of 300 daily flights to barely 30. Hundreds of aircraft had to reroute on short notice, costing airlines dearly and putting passenger safety at risk. The severity of these disruptions drew concern from ICAO members, many of whom reached out to Taiwan during the ICAO Assembly for bilateral consultation, offering their friendship and support. Fast forward to 2025. China continues to undermine regional stability with aggressive moves. Just last year, following the election of President Lai in Taiwan, the PRC unilaterally altered the M503 route and activated its mount of its 2 connectors, W122 and W123. On July 6, it again unilaterally activated the W121 flight routes without consulting Taiwan's Civil Aviation Administration as ICAO procedures require. In fact, since August 2022, China has conducted at least 4 large-scale miniature exercises in and around Taiwan Strait. On each occasion, China failed to give the timely warnings required under ICAO's NOTAM system. In the most recent 3 miniature exercises, the advance notice ranged from 2 hours to just 2 minutes to none at all, an unacceptable risk to every airline and passenger crossing this region. The Taipei FIR is an internationally recognized and distinct region under the sole jurisdiction of Taiwan's Civil Aviation Administration. China's actions deliberately disregard this fact, undermining Taiwan's authority in a calculated attempt to mislead the world into accepting its political claims. We must not allow political maneuvers to take precedence over aviation safety. ICAO's mission is to promote the safe and orderly development of international civil aviation. Excluding Taiwan, an essential stakeholder managing one of the busiest FIRs in East Asia, undermines that mission and puts passengers at risk. Ladies and gentlemen, Taiwan is not a bystander in global aviation. We are asking to be included in ICAO's meetings, activities, and mechanisms. It is both the right thing to do and a necessary step to safeguard regional and global air safety. In closing, I urge Canada and our friends around the world to stand with Taiwan and keep politics out of aviation safety. Let's work together to ensure the sky remains open, safe, and free for all. Thank you.
Okay, dear friends and the members of the press, good morning. I would like to thank you all and also for being here today. And my special thanks also go to Member of Parliament Rudy Sgro and Michael Cooper and the Ambassador Harry Tseng for your remarks. It's my honor to be here with share with Taiwan's efforts and aspirations in international civil aviation. We come to Canada even if we could not enter the ICAO Assembly Hall to deliver clear messages. Taiwan is indispensable to global aviation safety. Our message to ICAO is simple. Taiwan must be not included. Taiwan CAA should be included. With the 42nd Assembly opening tomorrow, we call on ICAO to invite Taiwan CAA to the Assembly and enable our meaningful participation in meetings, mechanisms, and activities. Only then can ICAO's missions, no one left behind, be truly realized. We want the international community to understand that Taiwan has always complied with the ICAO standards and maintaining the strict zero tolerance approach to safety. Taipei FIR management over 1.6 million flights every year. Our airline, national air carriers, China Airlines, EVA Airways, and the Star Lux were recognized globally, while our Taiwan Taoyuan International Airport ranked among the world's top 7 in cargo. These achievements are not just our pride. They are contribution to the global supply chain and passenger safety. We need your understanding and the support to ensure This effort have their full impact within the ICAO mechanism. And ladies and gentlemen, aviation safety knows no borders. The sky is a shared space. Any gap in the information will create a challenge for the air traffic management. Every day, the Taipei FIR safeguarding millions of travelers from around the world, ensuring the smooth and safe flights. However, Taipei FIR now are facing the external challenge. As mentioned previous member of parliament mentions, that is uncoordinated to activate the dispute air route just around our boundary of Taipei FIR. And the sudden danger zone announcement without notice and unidentified aircraft approaches. These actions increase the complexity to the flight operations. While Taiwan continue management this issue professionally under the ICAO standards, our lack of access ICAO Sgro portal and not in the mechanisms. So we are hard to management the space of the safety. So support Taiwan's meaningful participation in ICAO. That means giving anyone from the business traveler to family and vocations the assurance of the safer sky. Taiwan's appeal is simple and sincere. ICAO should include Taiwan. Only then that global aviation remains seamless and coordinate the flight in timely and effectiveness, and the sustainability goal will be truly realized. Taiwan is ready to work with all the partners. We want to share our experience, safeguard safety, and promote the sustainability. And then together, we can achieve the safer sky and the sustainable future. Thanks.
Thank you very much. That concludes the remarks portion of today's press conference, and we'll turn to question and answer period now. I'll remind journalists that it's one question and one follow-up. And I'll do journalists in the room first. We'll first go to Brian Pasfume for the Toronto Sun.
Thank you very much. It's a good question, whoever's able to answer it. If you're able, can you talk to me about the risks posed to aircraft transiting Taiwan's FIR if Taiwan has continued to be denied access to ICAO resources, such as the secure portal?
Okay, let me try to. Since Taiwan is excluded from the ICAO, so we could not get direct access to the ICAO Sgro portal. That means we only rely on the indirect channels to get the information, and always incomplete and delayed. So that it makes Taiwan's harder to update our regulation quickly, and cannot give in vital information or any response measures. That is the information delay. And the second is, since from the aviation flight safety information to aviation security to technical support to even the turbulence caused by the climate change to cabin fire from the power bank, Taiwan is missing out all the ICAO latest countermeasure and the best practice. And when the regional crisis or conflict force the relevant airspace closures, ICAO convenes the regional coordination meeting Taiwan also excluded. And we could not get the vital information to ensure the flight in real time. And I also mentioned China unilateral action, activated dispute route without notice and without dangerous zone without notification. That also heightened the risk in that area. So that's etc. So we will say aviation safety could not let included Taiwan. That means create a gap of a blind spot in the same sky. So we just also call on for the international to. I will beg to say we are not asking for politics. We are asking for meaningful participation. That means we join the technical meeting and expert group training programs, such as that. So our requirement is very basic for safety, not for political. Thank you.
Do you have a follow-up, Brian? Okay. And we'll move next to Sam Cooper of the Bureau.
Thanks. Ambassador Tseng, Taiwan's exclusion from the World Health Organization during the COVID pandemic arguably had significant global safety consequences. Now you argue there could be safety consequences, if not already, through the aviation or ICAO exclusion, with the United Nations having deciding power there. Do you see a comparison in those cases? And would you argue that Taiwan has the national institutional power to add something to the global security situation currently?
Thank you for the question. The lesson we learned from fighting against the pandemic is that we must keep vigilant from day one. Even if it is peacetime, you want to keep high alert. And now, well, probably we are not afford to see it as a peacetime, both in aviation safety and in the public health. I think what we learned from the pandemic is that we need to think a few steps ahead before things happen. In the ICAO, International Aviation Safety, we haven't really seen disaster or accident, but you don't want to wait for them to happen to start to prepare and repair this system. We have cited some past event, very clear event, to show you how the danger can happen if international civil regulation are not observed. And we hope that this pre-warning or this vigilance against international civil aviation can be appreciated by the international community. And no matter it is in public health or in air traffic, they applies. Thank you.
Yeah, follow-up for Sam Cooper.
Thank you. MP Cooper, you've said Prime Minister Carney's silence on Taiwan's exclusion from ICAO rewards Beijing's bullying, and that the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister should send a safety message or a message to Beijing. I'm going to take a step back and look at the big geopolitical picture here. Your colleague, MP Landsman, and your party, I believe, commented yesterday on what they viewed as a premature recognition of the state of Palestine. And I believe MP Landsman did say that she perceived that Canada or Mr. Carney was bowing to pressure and bullying on our own soil. Do you see any inconsistency in the government's foreign policy looking at these two geopolitical hotspots?
Well, let me say that the policy of the Government of Canada has been to support Taiwan's meaningful participation. And as a host country, Canada has, I believe, added responsibility to lend its voice of support. And so it's disappointing that we have seen silence on part of the government. I think over the past number of years. We have seen a policy of the Government of Canada that too often has bended to Beijing, and we need to stand with our democratic ally, Taiwan. Beijing is a major destabilizing factor and force in the region, and the Indo-Pacific region. And we need to work with our allies to push back against this increasing threat of Beijing. And in order to do that, it is important that our policy be restated and be clear and stand with a democracy and an ally that is Taiwan.
Thank you, and we'll now turn to journalists joining us online via Zoom. First up will be Jiunn-liang, Radio Canada International. I'm not hearing Jiunn-liang, so we'll try Yuli He.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. The question is for Mr. Tseng and Mr. Lin. My first question, has the ICAO ever given Taiwan an official explanation why Taiwan has been excluded from the organization?
Well, I must say that in the 38th ICAO Assembly in 2013, we were invited by the Council, ICAO Council, to participate as a guest. It has happened before. It can happen in the future. We consider a political obstacle from mainland China, from China, that is stopping Taiwan from participating. Even though we think that we have shown our very advanced expertise and a very responsible stakeholder, we have not been able to be invited back to ICAO since 2013. We hope that can change.
Jiunn-liang, if you have a follow-up.
So, may I?
So Mr. Lin, you have something to add?
So I also want to add some information regarding the ICAO's officials. Contact with Taiwan. Actually, as our ambassador mentions, at the 38th ICAO Assembly in 2013, our director general, from Taiwan CAA, was invited by the Council President attend as a special guest. And at that time, our presence was warmly welcomed by many countries who agree our participation is, fit perfectly with the ICAO's goals, seamless Sky. And during the meetings, we assess the critical information and then about the ICAO just at that time, newly emerging COSIA programs. And so that when we get the information, Taiwan can plan net zero strategy earlier. So that means it was very clear that our participations that time create no problem to any countries. And it made the global seamless and the safest. I think that I will add this information.
Okay, and Jiunn-liang, if you have a follow-up, I'll ask you to unmute now.
Okay, my second question is for two MPs. What can the international world, including Canada, do specifically for Taiwan to rejoin ICAO?
Thank you very much for the question. That's exactly what we are doing this morning. having this press conference, continuing to talk about how much Taiwan has to offer in the past and in the future when it comes to safety in the skies or on the ground. And that we want to see that happen. There have been many public statements from all levels of government supporting the introduction of Taiwan, whether as a guest or a permanent member. And I think it would only help to increase safety. Looking back over this last several years, there have been numerous accidents in the skies where we used to think was very safe. I think has to be questioned today, not only in the Taiwan Strait, but elsewhere. And the more that other partners are at that ICAO table to ensure the safety of our airspace, it'll increase the safety for all of us. I think it's critically important, and it's not an issue that you politicize. It's not a political issue from my sense of looking at it. It's a question of safety, whether we're talking about the safety in the skies, the safety in the roads, the safety in the Taiwan Strait. Those are critically important things for the overall safety of the world. And the more opportunity that Taiwan has to participate and be a partner, I think is a critical important. And I think we will continue to hear statements from many others on this issue as it moves forward.
Thank you. Ms. Cooper?
Well, I would restate that there is no legitimate basis for Taiwan's exclusion. It simply doesn't make sense from the standpoint of aviation safety, from ensuring the safety of our skies. It is purely political. It is about bending to the Beijing dictatorship. And it is why it is imperative that the Government of Canada make its voice loud and clear to ICAO to take the politics out of the ICAO Assembly and invite Taiwan to meaningfully participate. It's in Taiwan's interests, it's in Canada's interests, it's in the interests of global aviation safety.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next we will go to Yuli Hu at the Central News Agency. I'll ask you to unmute yourself now. Yuli Hu at the Central News Agency, if you are able to ask your question now. Okay, we're not able to hear you. I'll circle back to journalists in the room if there are any more questions. Does not seem that we have more in the room. So one more time for Yuli.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Go ahead with your question.
Yes. I wonder, since so many years we haven't been successfully get into ICAO, and what kind of support from international society should do to help Taiwan in the future?
Just in short, I think we need more people following press conferences like we are today, raising awareness and demand that that Taiwan be invited to participate. It's in everybody's interest to see that that happens.
If I may add to what Chair Sgro has said about how international community can come up to help Taiwan, I want to remind the listeners, the viewers, that the collective effort from the like-minded countries is crucial. And the good news is we have seen the collective efforts from the like-minded countries increasing, growing in the past few years. It is not only this case in ICAO. We have seen the like-minded countries garner support for Taiwan in the World Health Organization. And if it can happen in the public health, since it is both concerning our personal safety in the international aviation regulation as well. So we are hoping that the ICAO can also come up with that kind of synergy to help Taiwan to participate meaningfully in ICAO. And I appreciate Canada's assistance as well as assistance from the like-minded countries.
And Yuli, if you have a follow-up, please feel free to unmute now.
No, I have no more questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That concludes today's press conference. Thank you, everyone.